Welcome to Edmonton. It's so cold. It's ridiculous. It was actually not that bad only a week ago. And the weather gods are definitely doing their part to prevent me from getting to my destination even today. But we're here now and we're gonna get there. Oh, so I hope so. West Edmonton Mall. And it's a bittersweet location for me to actually visit because I came here endeavoring to get on one of Canada's most legendary coasters, Mindbender. It was temporarily closed at the time, but unfortunately it was permanently closed, as we soon discovered shortly thereafter. And I'm not here actually to ride any rides, as I covered every single thing that they had here, at least available at the time, in that particular vlog. So definitely check it out, including the haunted house that they once had here that was one of the best that I've been in Canada. That is also gone. What's coming? Well, you can hear it's a very noisy location here right now, and the reason for that is because, as is well known now, a Vekoma multicolored Nerf-themed coaster is due to open here potentially this year, as it's February and frigidly cold outside the window just beyond me here. But it looks like there is progress happening. There's 6 construction personnel from what I can count on site today, working hard on foundations still below us. Now, I'm going to capture some of that. I'm not an engineer, I'm not an expert technically, I'm not one of those channels, but I'm here to at least give you some decent coverage of what I can. Unfortunately, my main camera, of course, has broke after I've made a treacherous, crazy journey to get here. But we're gonna do our best to get as much as I can here. So no fancy zooms, unfortunately, but it is a nice bright day here mid-afternoon. So we'll at least get some good light and get you guys an idea of what the layout is, because it's still not officially released as of the time of this video. But here it is, Galaxyland's brand new Vekoma multi-launch family and thrill coaster, from what we're being told. A coaster with 2 inversions and a multi-launch mode, of which it's not going to actually invert during family mode and will launch during the thrill mode. 2 inversions is not the 3 that covers what Mindbender had, but really the main focus of this coaster, without question, is probably safety, as at the end of the day, a lot of focus, unfortunately, is on how Mindbender had its accident. Now, of course, there's a lot to live up to when it comes down to Mindbender's legacy, because it was one of the most thrilling coasters in Canadian history, if not the most thrilling. So whatever they do actually put here, there's going to be a lot of eyes on it. There is already a lot of eyes in the world trying to figure out exactly what the layout of this coaster is. Hopefully this video will benefit some of you looking for that information. I'm not going to have the time, based on what's going on with the custodian here, to give you all the views that I would love to, but we'll try our best. I also don't have my primary camera with me, unfortunately, as it broke on the way to this journey. So yeah, any support you can, give a thumbs up, definitely would be appreciated. All right, let's have a look at the grounds below me and what is going to be the newest coaster here in Canada in 2026, or so we're hoping. Triangle support here we can't really make out, but like, can you make out the direction? There's a lot of foundation still to be poured from what it looks like. In fact, that's definitely the case when you look at it down here. We're close to the window here, the walkway, but among you are going to be able to work out this layout if you really figured out the I'm trying to figure out the layout, but it really is kind of perplexing. It certainly looks like the station area is going to be close to where the original was. However, there's definitely enough twists and turns that it's going to look like something that is going to be quite high and maybe do justice to what was originally here for sure. That's without question. correction, and I gotta give you a bit of narration since we do have some great house music in the background. But yeah, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8, if not 9 personnel on site. So things are happening despite what you might read on the internet about this thing not opening in 2026. It's certainly going to happen this year based on the progress that we're seeing. Track is already on site. It's going to be happening. It's just a question of when. So we still have some foundations that are cooling here that have been recently poured. So yeah, there's a lot of work still to be done. I'm really kind of more fascinated by the ones in the background here, as you have some pretty sturdy new pours, which makes me think that a major element is going to be back in that area, and if not, it's going to be probably at least a top hat of some sort, the highest point of the ride. See, it's that turnaround section. It kind of mimics, from what it looks like, the original path of Mindbender, because you do have a lot of supports in this section that kind of lead to the turnaround here. You can see. And then leading back into this direction, underneath the bridge, and then back over here. So then I think you would have a crossover point coming back through this area. We'll actually look behind this glass structure to see if there's any supports back there. Because if that was the case, then it would come back in this direction. In fact, you can kind of see that it would come back over in this direction here, leading, if not to a turnaround, that would kind of lead back this way. It's really curious because it's got to have a spike, or it's not going to have a spike, but it's going to have some sort of weird element that allows it to return backwards to the station itself. Although you do see a large landing here, so there's obviously the main focus of the ride. Say higher sections are probably on this side, which would make sense with the original sort of like allotment here. I've heard it written, or I've seen it written, that it's about 110 feet to 100 feet high, so significantly less in height than, say, what Mindbender was. The other side of the glass structure here. I don't know what they're going to actually do with that building or that area in the middle there. There'll be some unused space. And you can see there are actually no foundations on this side of it. Just a storage area for a crane, which means that that coaster is not actually going to be coming around here in that particular area, but there is a foundation here. So I would bank on there being an inversion right around here. One of two, and the other one obviously being in the bridge area. It's not obvious yet, but that's what everyone probably would wish for, and I'm sure they're going to definitely make good on. So as you'll see, they are actually still working on the complete makeover of Galaxyland into a Hasbro theme park. Actually, it's a really good idea. It's been actually happening since I was here last 4 years ago, so it's a slow changeover, but a lot of familiar brands from what I recognized back in the day, including the Swing of the Century right here, which is being changed over into, I don't know, some weird hybrid sort of Swing of Hasbro thing. You'll see the Monopoly symbols and Battleship and stuff already being sort of made over onto the ride, which is interesting. It's a unique setup and actually makes sense for what is kind of like a family-driven park. Definitely a better direction probably for this park in order to you know, maintain it through the next, you know, life cycle per se. Like the main work today was actually this big new hole for a foundation or for a pile. It's kind of finishing up right now. I feel like there's going to be like a lot of work that's going to get done in the next couple of weeks. We've even got drywall that's moved in, which is actually to note, which means that some sort of station work is probably going on. In fact, it's fairly evident based on what you see below, because this is really the structure of a station. So for my guesstimate, it looks like it's pretty much going to follow the original course of Mindbender and come out to the left here, the station. There's so many actual still ground markings that I haven't actually looked at. Slab depth for top bars. There's been a drill, a hole in here, so there is something that's actually going to occur over the bridge, and I would presume probably right here, considering that we have these markings that have been here. And then if you look down, you can see that there is some foundation work that can be done here. I would say that we're going to see a pretty massive element right above us here in this particular section. wrap it up here from Galaxyland. I've been here for 2 hours. I haven't even gone on any rides, but the next time I'm here, well, probably the next time I'm here, there'll hopefully be track being installed, and I'll cover that for you guys as well. But yeah, very fascinating to see everything going on. I must say the construction personnel, very friendly, not like in the sense that they're saying hello, but they don't really have any issue with being recorded, unlike certain places in the world. I'd say the custodian staff, however, a little suspicious behavior. So many swarmed here as soon as I actually got onto site, and maintenance crew as well. So if you're watching, hello. But yeah, just friendly, just trying to take a little coverage of Canadian history here, which it is. A brand new coaster, and probably one of the last major ones that we're going to see for some time in Canada. So it is an exciting project, regardless of what you think about the history of the ride that was here before or what's to come. It's definitely going to be a much safer ride, and hopefully something that everyone can enjoy. I'm actually already getting a good feel about where the actual trajectory of this thing is going to go. I'm sure probably by the time that I'm even posting this, someone's worked it out already too. It is no secret. I haven't seen any plans or anything like that. I'm not trying to be shifty. So yeah, it'll be fascinating to see what happens when it does finally open. All right, everyone, that is it here from Galaxyland in West Edmonton Mall. I hope you enjoyed looking at the construction here of what is really heating up to be probably one of the biggest and most exciting ones to open in North America, if not the world, in 2026. Here's hoping, but I'm certainly confident they're going to get it open in time for the end of the year. All right, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for dropping in.